sampah sembarangan. Udah tahu sampah biang masalah, buang sampah pada tempatnya lah.
Iya ya, kalau bukan kita siapa lagi? Ayo kita buat Jakarta jadi bersih.
That's how it works with me and Fej too. And we are very excited to be here and to be working with you and your team. It's been
beneficial from this cooperation.
definitely. You guys are awesome. Very nice to meet you on page, Mr. Thank you.
Bagi itu sebelah sana. Welcome to our city hall.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Gubernur, ladies and gentlemen. Again, very good morning for all of you. First of all, we would like to report to you, Mr. Gubernur, that the partnership between Jakarta government, Basuki, Transport Agency, and Waze has been established by signing the agreement about the exchange data on 9th of September this year. Thereafter, Jakarta was invited by Waze as part of the W10 Connecting Cities to Citizen program, which has been launched in New York on 1st of October. In that event, we have decided Ms. Father to go to New York City to attending the launching.
The young generation.
It's good. The W10 program is a partnership program was initiated by Waze by inviting 10 big cities such as Jakarta, Rio de Janeiro, Barcelona, Tel Aviv, San Jose, Boston, Los Angeles, New York, the state of Utah, and Florida. The W10 program would improve better traffic in the city. Following up to the signed agreement and the W10 program, both parties, Google and Basuki, will conduct the onboarding workshop for 2 days, which is today and tomorrow. The workshop will consist of several meetings that will cover both the technical and communication aspect of the partnership. We do hope this partnership will contribute toward Jakarta Smart City as well as better traffic conditions for Jakarta. With your permission, Mr. Governor, we would like to invite the Google team to introduce and to give a presentation about their coming.
There is no but this is IT chief in communication.
Oh, great. Great to meet you. I'm Paige. I am coordinating this program for Waze for Google.
My name is Fish, and I deal with all the technical side of absorbing the data and putting it on an incident server and then pushing it back to you.
So he's the reason why this partnership works. I have a short video about the launch of our program that we shared in New York that I will start with. If you can hear it. I just want to make sure you can hear it.
Oh.
The thing I have always loved about Waze is that all the information is coming from the crowd. Even the maps themselves were completely crowdsourced, which most people don't know. Everything we do is crowdsourced. That's done by hundreds of thousands of people around the world who volunteer to help make sure that their map is accurate. As we grow, the more information we have everywhere in the world from our drivers. It's an incredible, incredible group of people.
The worst is yet to come from Hurricane Sandy.
When Hurricane Sandy hit, we had no idea that we could play a role in being helpful at all. We got a call on Friday evening from the White House, and they said, you guys have a lot of users in that area. Is there any way we can reach out to them and see if we can get some information about what gas stations are open or what are closed? To our surprise, over the course of that weekend, we received about 10,000 responses. We were able to pass that information back to FEMA and the White House and make sure that people could get on their way. It was the first time that we saw ourselves in the possible role of being able to be more helpful than just saving time on the commute. And we realized it was something that we needed to build out. There was real demand and it was a need. Rio's traffic infrastructure is evolving very quickly, faster than it was prepared for. It's a very small infrastructure made for a smaller city. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. One day we get a phone call from the head of Rio's Traffic Operations Center, and they wanted to turn to crowdsourcing.
In Brazil, traffic is a very important issue. We have almost 7 million people here. Implementing Waze was something that we've never saw before. From the first phone call that we had, 2 weeks later, we were there inside of Waze application with APIs, bring to the operations center every information that we agreed to share.
There was a sense that it was magic because you were able to see what was happening where across the entire city. Each city, each country has unique mobility challenges. We're still in the phase right now of learning what are those challenges and how they're unique to each city. This is why we're working with 10 different cities, literally across the world, to make sure that we have a better understanding, the best understanding we can have around those different challenges. When you can combine citizen information that we bring to the table with the city information, what you have is an incredibly informed citizenship. Together, we'll be ready for anything that happens on the road, whether it's a hurricane or a World Cup victory. With Waze's Connected Citizen platform, we're ready for the real-time city, because no one knows more about what's happening inside the city than the people.
Pak Kosasi is our CEO for a bus rapid transit company.
Oh, wonderful. And
Transjakarta, you know all the Transjakarta busway. He is the CEO.
Awesome.
to meet you.
So that was just the launch of the launch video for the Connected Citizens program that we launched in the beginning of October in New York.
Connected Citizen.
Connected Citizen.
Connected Citizen.
Yes. And I introduced myself before, but I'm the manager of the program for Waze. So I just have a very short presentation today, but feel free to interrupt me or ask questions. I'll start with a brief overview of Waze, but we have some Wazers in the room, so I'll go through that really quickly. And then I'll talk about this data sharing program and the Waze, excuse me, and how we hope to take the program to the next level.
I prefer to trust Waze than our traffic official.
It's always up. It's always up.
It's faster and accurate. Sometimes a little bit miss, but more accurate.
The more people will use it, the
Yeah,
more
more
accurate it will
accurate,
be.
yeah.
So
That's the problem.
That's the kind of like the balance that we need to find. How we get more people, and then we'll be 100%
We have to push many people to use this.
Exactly.
Exactly. Then you get accurate information up to the minute, real time. Right now we have 50 million active users around the world, and our motto, what we hope to do, is save every Waze user 5 minutes every single day that they commute, maybe more. So this is just a little bit about how Waze works. I don't know if you guys know this, but just stop me if I'm repeating. But Waze, anytime any one of these 50 million users turns on Waze, they contribute valuable speed and traffic information to any other users in the area. In addition, Waze allows users to input data themselves, and this can all be done through voice commands or through the passenger in the vehicle. But Passengers can input things such as traffic jams, accidents, hazards on the road, and then we can aggregate that information, share it with other users in the area, reroute them around accidents. I'm sure you're familiar with this in real time. So we actually use routing history from other drivers who have driven in this area before. And we compare, we compare speeds on the road in real time to what we know to be the average speed on that segment of the road for that time of day and that day of the week. So everything is done in real time, as you know. It's all a free application. But we also get to do some pretty interesting things with the data that we collect besides saving people time, rerouting them around traffic. This shows Jakarta, you guys are in blue. We have Florida in red and Rio de Janeiro in yellow. And this shows the average speed within the city during the hours of the day. So starting at midnight, going through 8 p.m. So you can see, I think one of the most interesting things is to see in Rio, in yellow, the big dip for the morning commute, the big slowdown. Jakarta, the traffic really starts around 6 a.m. Yeah. A little bit about the Connected Citizens program. We started this in October of last year, so while we officially launched the program this year, we started sharing with governments a year ago. We were approached by Rio de Janeiro before the Pope's visit. They were expecting that the Pope's visit would cause a lot of traffic in the city. There were 1 million users in Rio de Janeiro, and they were interested in getting our data so that they could respond in real time to traffic accidents as they occur and help avoid the impending gridlock that they felt would come. You mentioned smarter cities earlier. This is our unofficial Connected Citizens slogan. In the era of smartphones, smart cars, and smart homes, isn't it about time we start building smarter cities?
Like no BlackBerry.
No BlackBerry.
BlackBerry is not a smartphone.
No.
But Jakarta people love BlackBerry.
You have a lot of BlackBerry?
Interesting.
Yeah. They also the new ones, the Z10.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Z3.
But now we already moved to the WhatsApp is more easy than Samsung BlackBerry.
I have BlackBerry, so.
Yeah, we don't use a
You
BlackBerry.
can run Android on that. On your BlackBerry.
We like this. Q3 is more easy to type.
Yeah, it's true.
iPhone is have to put extend.
I think it is easier to type on BlackBerry too.
Only 2,000 contact one BlackBerry. That's why I have 14 BlackBerry.
So
But I put your program in Android, Samsung.
yeah.
Yeah, I put this in Android.
So we launched this program at the beginning of the month. It was a big media hit. This is a data exchange at its core. The information that we are interested in getting from governments is road closure data. And we share incident reports in real time. So we share incident reports, and we're interested in getting road closure data. The reason is road closures contribute a lot to the user experience. If we navigate a user to a closed road, it's not a very good experience for the Wazer. But that data is hard to get, and governments, you guys have that data. That's the data that we're interested in getting from you. And in exchange, we give you in real time a feed of all of the Waze incident reports. Partners can use the Waze platform, government partners, to tell Waze users about any major traffic events. So this is an example from the Chicago Marathon that closed down a big portion of Chicago. So Chicago was able to work with us to put that closure on the map so that Waze users were aware of it beforehand and could plan their travel, their commute accordingly. And then also in real time, Waze users can get rerouted around those closures. So basically, we're trying to help our government partners. So we're trying to help our government partners reduce traffic from these major events. This is another example from New York, major roadway. The FDR was closed, and you can see on the left That's how it showed up in the map. We gave them attribution, so we were working with the New York Police Department. There's the New York Police Department's logo. We were able to then reroute Waze users around this big road closure. So there are three main things that we think our data can be useful to you. The first is responding to incidents, to accidents in real time as they occur. The second is you can do some really interesting things with analyzing our incident report data. And the third is you can provide a direct communication channel to Waze users in the city, kind of what we saw with the Chicago Marathon and the New York example. So this is an example. This is an example from Rio de Janeiro. This is their traffic operations center on the left. And this is an overlay within their traffic operations center of all the Waze incidents. So if a Waze user reports an accident, it will show up in the traffic operations center. They can see if the Waze user took a photo, they can see that photo, and then they can send the necessary emergency management personnel, fire trucks, ambulances to that incident in real time. Rio has a lot of Waze users, 1 million or so, about. And they found that on average, an accident gets reported by a Waze user 30 seconds after the fact. So they get this information much sooner than they were able to get it
How
before.
many users in Jakarta?
We'll get that for you. We can look that up.
Nah, di makan data masih sama.
So there's lots that can be done on the analysis front. I'll show you quickly 5 quick examples of how Rio has used our data, and this we just think is the beginning of how you can use this incident data to really make interesting transportation decisions. So the first example is just measuring traffic compared to other days. This graph that you see on the right shows aggregated incident reports on consecutive Mondays. So every Monday between April and August of this year. And by plotting the level of incidents, you can compare the traffic level on one Monday versus the traffic level on other Mondays. So Waze incidents allow Rio de Janeiro, in this case, to measure the level of traffic in their city on a relative basis. Rio has also made a heat map of all incidents. So the areas in red are the areas with the most Waze reported incidents, traffic jams, accidents, congestion. They're able to plot this information on a map, identify the problem areas, the priority areas, and then make short-term and long-term decisions accordingly. So, for instance, Rio de Janeiro realized that they did not have traffic cameras in some of these places. So they were able to then redirect transportation infrastructure to focus on these areas. I'll go next. They were also able to show how a big construction project changed the level of traffic in their city. So this shows before and after a major road closure, there was little impact on congestion. Just use Waze, they were able to use Waze incident levels to basically evaluate their rerouting around a big construction plan. This shows an example between Rio's first and second round of elections. Elections had a huge impact on traffic in Rio de Janeiro. They were able to break down by neighborhood which neighborhood was most affected by the election, and then adjust in real time between the first and second election to focus on those neighborhoods that had been hit hardest. So they were able to readjust their traffic operators on the street to focus on the areas that were hit the hardest. That's not that exciting. So the third main thing we think you guys can do with this partnership is to provide a direct communication channel to Waze users in the area. After Hurricane Sandy in New York, the White House approached us and asked us to help identify which gas stations in the area still had gas. So we were able to send a message out to Waze users in New York, asking them to report on which gas stations had gas, how long the lines were, etc. Another great example that might be relevant is Mexico City wants to launch a big pothole campaign. So Mexico City asked us to send out a message to all of the Waze users in Mexico City to identify which potholes were problematic in their area. So we were then able to aggregate that information and hand it over to the government. Say, Waze users in your area have identified these potholes, and furthermore, these are the potholes that are of our highest priority. So these are the potholes that the most people have identified. And then the government was able to go and direct investment at fixing those potholes that were the biggest problems. This is another example in a crisis. Waze was able to help to work with the government to identify shelters in real time, and we were able to put the shelters on the map so that people could then search for a shelter and navigate to the nearest shelter. Evacuation routes we can also list on Waze in the case of any sort of a disaster. We really think that this is just the beginning and that there are many ways that we can continue to work together. As Mr. Akbar mentioned, you are one of our first 10 partners, so we're very interested in working with you to see how this data, how this partnership can be most beneficial to you.
I think we still have more data from our information center.
Yeah,
And you could make a presentation. So I think maybe from West could find another data you need. Because we have a school department different. Traffic department and our communication information department. And they control all the CCTV. So they already got a Google Map program. His department is responsible for all the data.
So I think at the end of the day, we have very kind of straightforward system. Okay.
So I just want you to know what data you could get from this.
Isin bahasa Indonesia.
From data. That's it. We have.
Okay.
And I will. Yeah.
Okay, so if we get probe data as well, that would be very beneficial. Then we can use that to actually add more information to the traffic map. What do you use it today for? The probe data?
Ini belum bayar pajaknya bang.
At the moment, we just skip, just for the government.
Okay.
We are willing to inform the people. I think with this application,
Yeah. We have
banyak
means to
kita
digest.
perlukan masalah itu.
Okay.
Cuma busway semua. Ini koleksi gimana?
Termasuk mobilitas penduduk itu sudah siap.
Kamu lihat CCTV itu nggak? Bisa langsung
Di sini belum di sini Pak. Karena masih di data center yang apa? Yang di krisis center belum digabung sini.
Mungkin bisa terjemahin siapa?
Ya.
Pak,
Pak, lalu terjemahkan.
just make a presentation.
With your permission, morning all. We developed this application as the extension of our complaint handling application. First of all, later we will change, we extend the format of our complaint handling from tabular view into the spatial view. This is the back end, the view of the back end.
And this is real time. No.
It will be. We still not connected the real data. We still not connect the real data. This is the back end. Basically, we will provide an access from the public to make a complaint into the government. But the traffic, for example, the traffic content, the traffic issue also could endorse in this application too. This is the back end. For the front end, we have something like a social net. We call it as a plugin. Then people can contribute any traffic situation by sending the information into our data center. Basically similar with the Waze, but we only have how many users? It's still much more or less users rather than the Waze. But I believe this application could have a good connection with what you work together with Pak Akbar. It is very good, Pak Gubernur, if we can get the data from Waze and we can integrate the data into our data center. Then we will, let's say, a few.
And that's what I mean is the fact is Waze.com is works more accurate and
Yeah.
more data than us.
Yes.
So all I want is how you use this Waze.com to make all the people
Yes.
resident in Jakarta get involved in this.
So you get the raw information. What you see on Waze.com is when you see the map, the events that you see it on it, the traffic jams, etc. This is something that you get as a raw data, and you can decide if you want to put it on Waze map or Google map or whatever you have in your center. So this is exactly what Rio did. They get the raw data and then they can manipulate it, however they want to fit it into your system, because you obviously have your proprietary system.
This is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So
For
you
example,
put it
Pak
there.
Gubernur, this is a menu that we already provide here, but we can customize this one. We can add another menu.
Tapi itu belum ada itu ya.
November ini Pak.
Ya.
Biar
Feedingnya,
kita bisa
Feedingnya belum cukup, Pak.
Kalau di
Di sini nggak, maksudnya kalau feedingnya digabungin
Yeah.
ambil data Waze.
That's what we ask from Waze.
Yes. Yeah.
Langsung ke situ.
Langsung
Ya,
banyak.
kalau kayak gini tuh, kalau modelnya tulisan, kita tuh nggak mau baca.
Ya.
Ya,
Simbol ya.
all I want is a map. Because next year, lurah kita, sub-district and district head, they control like a urban manager. We also have we work, this is like safetypin.com, you know safetypin.com? Safetypin.com is a United Nations Women program to help the women and children to report their position. They like a pin. So they put the red pin, you know safetypin.com, bisa masuk ya?
Bisa buka?
Buka aja tinggal, ada internetnya, safetypin.com. So some the local IT people, they develop Swakita. It's like a safetypin.com, but our district head will know what the problem. If I send a sign in this area, so yeah, my district chief will get the warning that somebody sent in their area. Also traffic, everything. Itu mana sih itu? Mana Swakita bisa kamu keluarin?
It's for what? It's for burglary,
Swakita.
or attack, or what is it for? Personal safety?
No, the safetypin.com nih, kamu mesti masuk ke sini.
Nggak pakai W, pakai
Nggak pakai I dia, dia pakai I. I. This from United Nations Women program, but we make it become a local. Yeah.
So in this map, this is safety pin.
Okay.
So in the map, so people can put if they feel danger, for
Masuk
example,
Google Play, dia masuk ke
they
sini.
put the position.
Demonya
And then who sees it?
Learn more, learn more.
Police or what?
Yeah, the police, the government,
Yeah, they for security.
for the security.
So if the people feel unsafe,
Yeah.
we give a sign.
Okay.
So when we know the red sign, we will control what happened in this area.
Okay. So it gives like a statistics, or if my child reports it, then I
Yeah.
get a notification.
And also your family or your friend could control where you are, where you're going. It's like the West.
There's no privacy program.
No, it's depend on you want to let people know or not.
Okay.
So yes, with our data, you get a feed that has the latitude and longitude, the data
Itu ada
points.
demonya kok, setiap itu ada demonya. Nggak usah di download, kamu nggak usah download. Dia ada demonya. Dia buka di YouTube aja ada kok. YouTube ada. Di demo langsung masuk ke YouTube. This first came from Calcutta, India. Yeah,
There's a lot of harassment.
Too many harassment,
Yeah.
too many. So they make this. Kamu masuk ke YouTube, dia demonstrasi itu gampang banget.
you,
Barangnya ada di Provinsi.
Soal kita.
Iya, ada di PT tapi belum ada Pak.
Itu di pemerintahan itu deh.
Iya.
Server community. Nanti kamu klik situ aja.
Salah satu aja.
Jadi itu lagi suara kita. Jadi dan itu kita betul-betul lurah itu tahu persis wilayahnya. Jadi itu ini lebih yang kita bikin suara kita lebih hebat. Kasus ini kita mesti cari sendiri. Tahu ini enggak? Lurahnya langsung dikasih tahu. Wilayah lo dia ngelaporin. Camat langsung dikasih tahu wilayah lo dilaporin.
Online warning system.
Langsung kelihatan.
Ada nomor notifikasi ya.
Langsung dia bikin apa-apa dan kita bikin kategori.
Kalau
Ini sudah ketemu kan?
dan udah kita siapkan slotnya Pak, tinggal warehouse-nya.
Keamanan itu apa?
Jadi PKS dia mau jual apa boleh kita berhak pakai itu ternyata boleh nambah.
PKS udah siapkan.
Dan saya mau tambah satu kalimat. Ini boleh dipakai, dia harus pakai buka untuk seluruh Indonesia. Saya nggak mau dia udah nanti bagus.
Hanya terbatas.
Nah ini kabupaten kota dia nggak mau kasih. Saya pengen seluruh Indonesia nih supaya Pak Jokowi bisa kontrol.
Di PKS-nya disebutkan.
Yang suara kita.
Jadi begitu kabupaten kota lain mau ikutan, provinsi lain mau ikutan, dia harus kasih. Tambah satu pasal.
Jadi nasional saja.
Karena ini udah nasional untuk Pak Jokowi.
Kalau bisa Pak, ini semua selesai di akhir November masuk bakal, lalu awal Desember kita harus sosialisasi.
Sosialisasi ya cepat karena Januari udah sistem baru.
Ini semua di tempat saya selesai di bulan ini.
Yeah, we hope next year, January, we already could launch this program. If everything could work well in Jakarta, we hope all this program will run the whole nation. That's what our president is, representing former governor here. So Jakarta become like a showcase for all the program.
Pioneer.
Yeah.
Sama aku boleh tanya Pak?
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, hi, Paige and
Fish.
My name is Kusasi. I'm responsible with Publikasi there
Data bahasa juga ada.
of the
Posisinya ada di
Jakarta
sini.
Public Transportation. We call it the Trans Jakarta Bus.
Don't protest it.
Makanya nanti.
For communication purposes, you can call me Steve. I believe that's
Mereka
easier for you.
lihat mereka yang ngomong.
That's my Western nickname. I've been talking about this with Rudy Ramawi, the CEO of Google Indonesia. I've been wanting to have Waze in our application, in our control room in Trans Jakarta. I've also talked that with Pak Butar. We are in transition. In January 1st, I'll be taking over from Pak Butar. The question is like this. How could we put the data of our buses there?
Position.
Can we feed our GPS data to you? Because it's like this. There are about 52 million trips per day in Jakarta and the surrounding supply cities. For Jakarta alone, it's about 25 to 27 million per day. We are trying to reduce that by having more and more people going through public transportation. One of the best we have right now is Trans Jakarta. If you go out to our protocol road, to the main road, you can see the red buses. Yeah, the big buses, it's our buses. So, right now we are catering about 320,000 people per day in those buses. Problem is, our passenger information system, we can predict the probably how far is it from the next shelter, but we can't tell how long will it take for them to get there because of traffic jam. Because we're still sharing, not all the busway lanes are exclusive. Sometimes you have to cross the public lanes. So if we feed the data to all of you, and we will have hundreds of thousands of people maybe downloading data, downloading Waze in their smartphones, because based on our survey, more than 70% of the mobile phones used by our passengers are Androids. I believe we can have a better passenger information system. Is it doable?
So buses overall is something that we don't support today because it's a different kind of let's say transportation method. buses stop in the middle of the road.
No, we're in the center of the road. We're in the middle, not on the side of the road, but it's like
The
we
lane,
have exclusive lanes. Yes,
In the middle.
only those buses, not all the buses.
Okay. Again, today we don't have any support for buses and also we are, because of privacy issues, we are not showing really real time. What you see today, the data of incidents, you do get them where they are reported, but movement of vehicles is something that we are obscuring a bit because, again, privacy issues. So right now the system is not really fitting for buses. This is something that we have to look into, but today it's simply not good for buses. It's good for cars. The behavior is car. It's not not a kind of a predefined route without stops in the middle, so things like that. And so again, we have to look into it. But today it's not fitting.
So we do also have a tool that we're offering partners, which we call the ETA tool. This is not a perfect solution, but it might be a way. Exactly. It might be a way to get you the data that you need. How it works is that we can try to pull up a mock-up. Basically, we ask our partners to pre-select routes, as many as they want, fixed origin and fixed destination. Then they can log on to a dashboard and see the Waze data for how long it takes to get from one route to another. So if you set it up for every single bus route was there, you could then get the information on your dashboard for how long it would take to go that distance.
So we also with that application, can we also take the data of all of our buses?
No, no, you can't read it. But on the other hand, we have special
That's a good point. It would give you the Waze traffic, not the distance in the special lanes, which is the lanes the bus travels. Cars are not allowed in, right?
No, but it's like this. In some intersections, you have to pass the same. So if there's traffic jam, people could know, okay, my bus is holding up.
So that is something that we could definitely cover. You could definitely find out if there is a traffic jam on the bus route. But beyond that, you wouldn't be able to predict what time the bus would arrive at the next station.
Yeah, because we don't
Google
have
Maps using the same app.
No, Google Map has a different. They're using Android probes. So they're getting information based on the Android interface. So they're also getting.
How do they tell that the road is jammed in Google?
Because they're looking at the Android signal data, and they're doing some manipulation. But you can also walk with the phone or be in office with the phone. They're kind of trying to filter out people. But it's a different mechanism. So we're doing it based only on cars.
Yeah.
People that are driving.
No.
They're doing it based on samples from the Android device, and it's a different one. So it's a different mechanism, and so that's why you see different results in different places, because they have their own kind of skewing to the one side, like the Sweden. And then for buses, it's complicated.
Jadi kalau saya mau naik, saya bisa lihat. Jadi kelihatan bisa baru saya itu di mana posisinya. Iya Pak.
Kalau di aplikasi kita sudah ada itu mobilitasnya sudah terlihat.
Kalau di lokasi itu umum. Jadi itu bisa lihat nih, sampai di mana posisi.
Jadi mobil komersial kalau
Jadi luar biasa ya.
Bisa berkomunikasi dengan setiap iuran lagi. Kalau ada itu saja.
Kalau bisa dikasih
Yang selalu satunya itu sudah ada juga. Kalau di sini sama.
Or let's try different
Bisa
things.
nyebut panggil.
Bisa dipanggil.
Try ruang.
Ya, nanti bisa diprogram. Bisa diprogram. Saya nanya Bapak.
Ini dong bisa jawab sama sentral.
Iya, iya. Saya belajar.
Iya, apa saja kalau menjadi partai orang ada bisa ada.
Bisa ada juga. Tinggal nanti harus mengajar.
Kok nggak bisa duit lagi? Numpang ya.
Tinggal
Sudah itu jarang antara SKPD itu kan sembunyi itu ya. Berarti udah kan tinggal teknis saja.
Yeah, tadi into this we will discuss about the technical matter and use it.
It's slow,
Yes.
down by the,
Go ahead, bye.
But overall, this is what we're getting, what we're sending. So we're sending a format which again, we can dive into the technical folks that provides us information. So this is, for example, somewhere in Ireland where they have event on this road. And you can see when there is the start time and end time and all kind of attributes. You can see it also, let's say here, move this back. This is another example of data. You can see when it was created, where it is applicable, what type it is, etc., etc. This is the kind of data that we're able to pass you and vice versa. So we have different structure. We have jams and accidents and hazard, and if it's a hazard, if it's hazard on the road or it's weather, etc. At the end of the day, it goes into a system, and I'll move this out again, and move this one in. Goes, and this is a live example. In this case, this is the California Highway Patrol. This is information that we get from them. It looks something like this. If you want to see how we deal with it. So this is a basic message, and it says the unit is on the scene. It was assigned, etc. You can see all the history. At the end of the day, it's a construction event. The way it then is translated is that a bit slow. Still slow. Right, it didn't come in. There we go. So the way it's translated to this one, you can actually see it on the Waze map. And this is the way we kind of push it there. Yeah, it's very slow. So you can see basically the main item is where it's located, that long.
Dia saling dia ngaco
No, this is specifically the California Highway Patrol. This is live data, but on another. So, yeah, we can do that with your data. So, what you can see here, for example, you can see that there are people that are saying that this is good data because they have a thumbs up. So we can also get information if this is good data, or if it's not so good data. So you can see if it went, for example, 62 people saw it, and I don't know how many people, this is one person said that this accident really happened. So we can actually understand if the data is good or not. If there is construction and there are a lot of thumbs down, it means that the data is not there anymore. So we have that data for a lot of countries. This is exactly where we want to add, Jakarta data, give you back this kind of information back. So, this kind of information. I do have one more example.
So we could add your data to this. So any construction data that you have, taxi information. Do you guys have construction data at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Usually we have road closure because there's construction. Usually we send it to the newspaper. Later, we can use also this.
Yeah, can you just send it to us
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
We can take it in any format that you have it.
Yeah.
Ideally, it's a feed, but even if it's just an email that you send, we'll take it.
Okay.
So this example here is out of the presentation.
Yeah, and
Feeding data to
this
mereka.
says you send it now.
Langsung saja online saja dia masuk ke data kita lebih cepat.
Ada data yang sifatnya informasi.
Yeah.
Oh, kalau buat broadcast atau apa,
Harus ada data orang yang
itu kayak broadcast.
ya broadcast.
Ya, kalau kita menyebutkan ini itu dalam SMS mereka di dalam Gubernur itu dalam
So this is the way our data looks like. You see, we have the location, we have speed. This is a weather hazard. There's a car on the side of the road. This is the way our format looks like. And we can kind of, once we get into the technical discussion, whoever implements it on your side, we have a good explanation, document that details exactly what's happening here. And again, it's a matter of just coding whatever software you have on your side and deciding how you want to use it. But it's basically a very kind of low-level, simple XML-based HTTP data. You just push to you and you pull, and that's it. Maybe I have an example also of the document. This is the document.
Just you will follow the technical.
Okay.
Ya, makasih.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. It's great to meet you.
Terusin aja.
Ada kaos yang mau
Mungkin ada tujuan mata
ada kaos.
yang mau disampaikan.
Itu suatu ide, oke? Seremonial.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ya, ya.
Ada beberapa kaos. Thank you. We have Google T-shirts, but we'll give those.
Ya, akan dibagi semua Pak souvenir dari mereka.
Misalnya mau dibawa.
Sekarang tidak ada sih Pak kalau yang
We have some Google T-shirts.
kasih ke Bapak atau nanti aja menyusul.
Nanti aku kasih.
Oh gitu.
What sizes do you have?
Yang di sini aja.
For everybody. Figure out which two different sizes.
Terima dulu ya.
What are you getting? Okay. Yes. Do you want a large or an extra large? That's the extra large. This is a large.
Oh ya.
Yeah.
Kita ngobrol di sini. Wah, keren.
Thank you.
Jam berapa?